We are back in Worm Unlimited today. This time around, the video is going to be a little different than a lot of stuff I've done in Worm Unlimited. Today, I'm going to be covering a facility that I did not create, that I had no part in making. It's going to be a little bit different for me. I'm going to try and do my best to cover it like I'm a visitor, like I'm a tourist, more or less. The building you're seeing below me was created by Zool and Ravenloft, two great players, and this is a fantastic event center. And since we do have a unique fight coming up, which you've seen me cover in videos in the past, and I will be covering this weekend, um, I thought I would take some time to go through the building beforehand because when I first saw it, I was just so impressed with the creation that these two players had made and just the way it's decorated and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to try and take my time and walk down through it. There may be some jump cuts, there may be some other things, but I'm going to try to do my best to give you a guided tour of a building I didn't create. And I keep saying that because I want to be even more perfect, if possible, covering this building because I feel these two players deserve it so much to have their building shown off to the internet. I guess I don't know. I'm falling apart. Let's go. Here we are at one of the main entrances to the structure and the facility. I I showed some of this in the Come Sail Away video. If you'll look, it's down there where we took off to do the sailing event. There's also another entrance over here. Let's see if I can wander my way real quick. You see they got flags and you got places for people to put tents and horses and all of this outside the main structure, so it's kind of nice and tidy. I really like that about this place. As you see, there's some cool champion animal corpses that have been involved, including a rift ogre. I'll show you. Remind me, I'll show you that. Oh, that's interesting. You're seeing. Oh, this could become the funniest video ever. Okay, we're going to get back to that in a second. This is another entrance, and if you'll notice way down there, I don't want to walk down there too far, there is another spirit gate. That is the unique for tomorrow, or for Saturday. He may have escaped. I can't tell. I guess we're going to find out. But we're not going to worry about that right at the moment, because I think I could still record this and worry about him in a minute. I don't know why he would have escaped, though. That's the part that's throwing me a little bit. He should be in his cage. And the way this game works and the way it's coded, sometimes things aren't always as they appear. So anyways, here's one of the main entrances. Love the bridge work. Love the slate. You know, of course, you got some nice banners and stuff, and you come in through here. And you're greeted with more grass and trees, some various gravestones. You come over here to the this end of the building is the entrance to a couple things. You have this very cool, I would call it banquet hall, maybe hangout spot. You got all kinds of altars here for priests of any faith. You have the tables. You have, I don't know if this jewel bard's always here. It's something we use at events. But you have a place for royalty or dignitaries. And then you have the kitchen. But all this is just so amazingly decorated. I had never noticed the cockroach before. Well, maybe some people might not find that amusing. I find it highly amusing. That's a subtle touch. That is something I'm unable to do as a creator. I never think of those kinds of things. I always find them hilarious. It's definitely up my alley as far as sense of humor goes. If you didn't notice it, my apologies. There's a cockroach embalmed cockroach body right there. I don't even know if they're called cockroaches. I can't honestly remember. Okay, so over here we have the entrance to the underground fighting arena, which we'll be using this weekend. But first, let's go over here. I'll take you inside in a second, but this is kind of cool. This is the outdoor fighting arena that we use for certain uniques. When I get a little different vantage point, I'll explain the difference. But, you know, you got all these entrances, cool decorations. I'm going to climb up here at this end of the ladder, and I'll explain, if you aren't aware, why we have an underground fighting arena and an above ground fighting arena. Give me just 1 second. Okay, sorry I had to turn on my UI and turn off my UI. And anyways, this was, if you saw it out there when I was babbling at the other entrance, this is really cool. They kind of damaged the walls. They have this embalmed Rift Ogre Mage coming through. I really love the details they did, like the cockroach I was babbling on about, and just loving how funny it was. But anyway, this is the outdoor arena with an altar. Obviously, some really cool spots for the king and queen to watch. We don't have a king and queen, but you get the point. It's decorations. It's great. This outdoor arena is what we use for the bulk of uniques. If we have drakes, or, you know, the goblin or the troll king, it just, they all work out here. But there are a few uniques, and I don't remember them all, that will throw players when they attack. And by throw, I mean it literally launches you into the air and you land many tiles away. It's not the most brilliant looking when you have it happen to you, because this game is older. Its coding is such that it's kind of, you're next to the unique 1 minute and off a distance away the next. That's fine most of the time, and I have tanked uniques where I've gotten thrown and I had to come back, but it does leave your off tank or the main tank in a precarious position to a point when you have that happen. So for the uniques that are able to throw people, we developed underground. I say we. A number of players on both this server, Liberty, and the other server, Novus, developed underground arenas. And I don't know if they knew everything that was going to happen when we started doing that, but I think, in my opinion, the general idea at first was, if they throw us, we're not going to go far. We'll stay within the confines of the arena. Turns out that the coding for these unique creatures kind of just loses its mind when you put them underground like that. And so they don't throw at all. So you can have a regular fight just like you would with any other unique. That mechanic gets removed. Personally, I would be fine with either. Their mechanics in the game, it's all part of the game. Nothing ever goes perfect. You got to do what you got to do. So I really don't have a massive issue with either. I'm personally happy to let other players decide. Okay, and so now I'm going to reverse my course here, and I'll get back down on the ground, and I'll actually walk out into that arena and show you a little closer the decorations up there in the balcony that my pointer is highlighting. So give me a minute. And now I'm over here at the entrance. I'll give you a little closer look. Yeah, for some reason I can't highlight that Rift Ogre. That's interesting. I can highlight the wall, but not him. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, my graphics are bugging a little bit. Might be because I'm in a windowed mode. I don't have permissions to all of these buildings, and that's absolutely 1000% fine. I don't need them. You get the general idea, the details and level of care and design these guys did. It's just a tremendous job. I think in addition to Zool and Ravenloft, I have my suspicions that Elfin also helped them with decorations, or at least acquiring some of these mats. I do know that this is really close to her deed, and so, you know, I suspect a lot of players were involved, but the two masterminds to me are Zool and Ravenloft, and it's brilliant. I wish I was this creative. Yeah, you got some rift mobs there, and then you got the place, the balcony, and of course, little storage there. You don't need to see that, but I like this arena as someone who tanks and someone who, someone who's done quite a few of these unique events. I like the size. I like the potential entrances for the uniques. It works. And then if you have people who don't want to take part, you saw me up there in these seats a minute ago. It works very much the same on the other side. It's just, again, it's the care and details that these players have done with this arena. It's just amazing. And most of our event arenas are this way. It's just, I love the layout the most of this. It just feels like you walk in one entrance and everything is right there in front of you. And it's just so cool to me. Obviously, I'm gushing about it. We'll tool over here a little bit. I'm trying to be a little better with the camera and panning. It's probably still herky-jerky because it's me. I'm always going to be me. You got a Drake skull there. And just you can wander around and all these cool things pop out. You got a mausoleum here. Obviously, they haven't quite finished it yet, or maybe it was meant to be unfinished. That's the other thing too, is somebody who didn't build this. I like kind of making my own stories for it, or maybe putting my own spin on it. Like, did they finish that or did they not finish that? Like, I can go in. Well, there's a corpse in there, but what's actually going on? You really don't know, and that's kind of the cool thing. It gives you the ability to interpret, or maybe RP a little bit if you were RP a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean. Nobody said I was the world's greatest narrator. I'm actually trying something new to do one of my famous or infamous tangents. I don't have my headphones on. I have them unplugged. The audio is working. I can see everything on the monitor over here, but the audio is doing what I needed to do, and I'm just basically trying this so my audio sound is consistent. I've had to struggle with my mic and some other things recently, not due to recording so much, but other stuff. And so I'm very leery. I'm very nervous and on pins and needles. It doesn't capture it as well, but I don't think. I'm looking at the monitor over here with the recording. I love this kind of dark bluish entrance, and you come down here and it has just a very spooky feel to it. You got a spider in there. You got all kinds of things. You got this Hota statue, which I'll try and turn around and capture. You got the demon Hota statue. These are probably my favorite banners. I have some around my deed, or the deed I haven't done a tour of yet. And then you just kind of have this whole chapel. And if you look up, this is all bridge. I have not yet figured out a building I want to try and do this with. These guys did a great job with it. They're not the first to incorporate this. I really, really want to figure out something to do similar to this. The vaulted ceiling look is so cool, and it is so appropriate to something that's like a Middle Ages or fantasy setting. And then you have the way all the light sources are dyed, and you walk down here and it feels equal parts regal and spooky to me. And then of course we have some odds and ends here, like the raffle stuff is kept off here to the left, and you kind of go down through here and you walk into this space. I like the lighting effects in here, the greens that they use, but I don't know. I don't dislike it, but it throws me off a little bit. Like the blue and the kind of atmosphere that we saw in that last room absolutely appeals to me 1000%. This I'm mixed about, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it kind of throwing me off kilter a little bit is a good thing. I've only done one event in this facility, so I'm not 1000% sure about this. We may find out on Saturday when I film the event itself. I think this is where the pre-event fight happens. So a GM will spawn a bunch of mobs for the players to beat up on while we're waiting for the main event starting again. As you see me highlight stuff, They just went out of their way to make, a viewing area for the royalty, as it were, or as I'm going to keep calling it. You got these spooky, kind of macabre decorations, which I don't care what anybody says are amazing. It just, not that anybody said anything. I know how people think. Ew, oh, what do you think you are? You're Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, what's with the dead bodies and all that? Nah, get over it. Maybe there's a tangent there, maybe, but I love it. I think these guys just again hit it out of the park. I would not be filming somebody else's creation if they didn't hit it out of the park, and not because I have some ego that only my stuff is worth my time. It's just I've always been leery of trying to capture somebody else's imagination and creation correctly. Like if one of the guys that made this was filming it, they may film it completely different than I am currently doing. I'm doing more my bumbling, rumbling, not very good camera angle style that I always do. I just hope I do it some justice for these guys. So now we're going to go in and you turn a corner here and you go through these big double gates. So I love this. It's a Drake corpse busting through the wall. Again, lighting is right up my alley. I love the glow it gives. You have some creatures that we have on our hunting server, Kaza. I forget what the hell they're called. My apologies. More deco. I mean, just again and again. And I can tell you because I have fought a unique in here. The uniques come out over here somewhere. And then you have all this space to bring them back. As someone who tanks, it's brilliant. The rest of the group of players, or the army as we call it, waits over here, so I can kind of drag them back this way. I'm going to tell you something, especially if you play on the Skilo server with us. When I am tanking, not that I'm a great tank, I don't think I'm anything but average. That's my personal opinion, does not matter. I try to back these uniques up enough so everybody has plenty of time to target them before we turn them in loose in here, before we turn the bulk of players, because it becomes a rugby scrum. In fact, I won't be tanking this Saturday when we do the event, because I want to be able to film it as a normal member of the fighting army, so I can back up and give you perspectives that I haven't given you in the other videos I did, or other video I did where I was tanking. I just didn't want to show you the same, everybody's piled in on top of each other. I'll show you the rugby scrum from outside of that. I'm not sure you're going to see a hell of a lot more than you already have, but it's just, it gives me the opportunity to try it. And we're going to have two great tanks. In fact, I think Zool, one of the building's creators, is tanking. By the way, if I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize. It's Zuell. I don't know any other way to pronounce it because I'm a dumbass. And the first curse word, I think, of this video. Not that I'm trying not to curse, it's worm. I think I talked about that in the sailing video. I'm not going to. Anyway, let's wander back on out of here. I think I know how I'm going to close this segment of it. I'm going to go back over there and see if the unique is running loose, which is going to be funny as hell if it is. There's curse word number 2. Anyway, as I walk back over to see if the unique is out, when I came back from my break and saw this facility for the first time, I just was blown away by how all-encompassing it was, how well decorated and detailed it was. I mean, there's tons of these around. There's so many players that make me jealous how creative they are compared to my lame, not creative rear end. But it's also the way it fits into this area, because a lot of this surrounding this arena is elfins. There's a castle over there where my pointer's pointing, and then if you go down off of these docks, you saw it in the sailing video, there's the market, and then there's elfins' main deed, personal deed. And it's just, this arena fits so well with everything else that's going on here. It's amazing to me. And yeah, Zool and Ravenloft just did a tremendous job. I know I'm sound like I'm gushing, but I just can't labor this point enough. I'm such a cynical jackass that I have to be able to. Yep, I don't know if he's trapped or not. I'm gonna walk over here and I'm going to. I can't tell. I can't target him. So like I don't think he's there. Like he's stuck in the ground. It's really, really strange. You know what? I'm not going to push my luck. He just disappeared to a building. I think it means he disappeared underground. I think he's underground. It's just popping up. It's just textures and other things that take 1,000 years to explain, and I'm still not sure I understand it perfectly. For me and my information, he is still trapped where he needs to be for the fight on Saturday. So I don't have to worry about anything with that guy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this segment here. You've seen the facility. You've seen all this great stuff that these folks have done. And now I will cut to the actual event a couple days from the recording of this segment. And we'll go from there. So see you folks then. It is now a couple days later. I am sitting on my horse at the event. I am really glad it decided to be night, or it just turned out to be night for this event, because now I can show you the awesome lighting effect of these torches. It's red all the way up and down this pathway leading in at night, which adds a very cool effect to go with the other lighting effects and stuff I showed you underground in the last section of the video. So we're just going to kind of ride in here. To me, the red light looks the coolest under this spirit gate. It really adds something. I love the contrast. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of ride in here. I'm going to fart around and do a lot of commentary with a lot of ums in it and my usual shtick, and then we'll have a unique fight here in probably roughly 20 minutes or so. Obviously, it's not going to be 20 minutes in the video. I'll probably cut some stuff out, but it's kind of nice that we get the contrast of day and night in this video. For the most part, I try to record during the day because to me it shows off the bulk of textures and building pieces and landscaping and furniture the best. But in a situation like this, having the contrast of nighttime, especially with the way the lighting has been done and the dyes and everything, it's really cool. Just really cool. Okay, so we're gonna ride in here, go through the noisy portcullises. Well, they might not be noisy in the video. As you see, more red lighting, which is just tremendous. I'm gonna wander over here and turn on my UI real quick. There we go. Alright. That is a jewel board. I'm saying it wrong, but that's basically, it allows you to refill your food, water, nutrition. Nice little bonus of attending the event. We have them at the starter towns and things of that nature. But for the most part, those are not something you can get in game. Those are supplied by staff. Usually only at events, things of that nice. But again, a nice touch. You saw this the other day, the very cool spooky blue lighting. We're going to go down in here. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage doing the event this way, or at least to me I am, because I don't know exactly when things are going on. But we'll kind of just follow other players and hope for the best. Is there anything going on in here? No, there's a whole bunch of cows in there. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know why there's a bunch of cows in there. If my camera work wasn't bad enough before, I'm fearing it may even be worse with the horse. If it gets too bad, I will get off. But as I said in the last video, I'm going to try my best to be above the rugby scrum to give you a different perspective of a unique fight. And we'll just have to see how it goes. Hopefully the horse doesn't get in the way. So the cut or the transition might be a bit awkward, bit strange. I was just in the pre-fight arena, which I'm about to ride back into, fighting and farting around and being silly. And while I didn't come anywhere close to dying, I did get in a little bit of trouble. Because I don't have my UI on and I didn't know what was attacking me. But when I'm editing, maybe I'll turn the pre-fight stuff into another video, or maybe I'll just cut it out. I don't know. I was babbling and acting like an idiot. I mean, I babble most of the time anyway. So, but this is what a pre-fight looks like. It appears I have. It appears I have some bear friends, not bear fists, bear friends. Whatever anybody that's watching this is gonna get that joke. So I'll sit here a second and then I'll back out. But this is a fun feature of the unique events. A GM is spawning these above us. I don't know which one. We have to do it. And they're all really great at it. But as you can see, all kinds of creatures and mobs. And some people don't necessarily do as much fighting as you think in a game like this. So it's kind of nice for them, I guess you would say, that they can come in here and do this, and it's a controlled environment, and they're reasonably safe, and all that fun stuff. And so, I'm not even going to ask what was happening with that horse. I don't even want to know. I'm now going to go in here, again, maybe, if Laga lets me, and kick back until the event starts. So when they dig out the monster, we'll see you guys then. We're about 30 seconds from the unique coming out. You'll see the tile I have highlighted. That is where it will be appearing from. And then the tank, who is in the red cart, I think. I'm not really sure. I haven't been paying attention. During the break, I was making fun of things. That's about all I was doing, was goofing off. Once the tank gets a hold of it and brings it out, and the off tank is ready as well, they will signal, and then the army, or whatever you wish to call them, will come from right here. So, yeah, that's a GM. That's a server owner, I think. I don't know anymore. But I am quite literally going to sit back here. And by back here, I mean in a corner. I am crammed in the corner. I was just making a joke about that I'm in my corner doing a timeout. But, you know, I'm going to turn my UI back on real quick to get a target on this guy, so in case something goes horribly wrong, which it's not going to. But the reality is without my UI on, and I'm not making a big deal out of it. I've mentioned it several times. It's one of those things that fascinates me, and it's funny to me, so, target. Hey. Sorry, got distracted. It's funny to me, and so I keep repeating and talking about it. Anyway, now I will turn my UI back off, and we will watch the fight. Okay, so the tanks now have it. They are going to keep it spinning between them, hopefully. The Sklotoplis is not one of the more damaging uniques, especially since in this underground arena we have taken away its ability to throw the tanks or players. I may have talked about that in the first segment, I may not have. But this is what I talk about when I say the rugby scrum. I've been thinking, in fact, that I probably will link my last tanking video where I was actually the tank. You'll get the idea of what I mean when I say rugby scrum. We don't have nearly as many players here today. Unfortunately, well, maybe not unfortunately. Unfortunately to me, again, my opinion, players are far more interested in Drake loot than they are these big giants like the Sklotoplis and Troll King and others, which, okay, I get it. I understand why, but to me, they're all just fun things to do. You know, it's not every game that you have a great server staff that puts on these kind of events. So, but this is basically, usually I'm somewhere in there about where that unicorn is. And I generally can't see anything. In fact, it's kind of interesting to watch this from this perspective. I'm going to pull back around here and watch some more. Let's see if we can get in front of him. There we go. He's not really twirling as much as I would have expected, but I do know that different... that the tanks are twisting them in between him. You do that with what's known as a taunting skill. It's not an easy skill to skill up, as we say in Worm, meaning, you know, gain more skill. I'm stumbling over my words, but it's possible to do it. There's a couple different methods, but the basic premise is you're just basically taunting it from one tank to another. See there, he twisted right there. I don't even know. I'm gonna write in here real quick. But see, this is more what the rugby scrum looks like when you're inside and you have people casting spells, which I've never been convinced do much to these guys. I've found when I tank, and I am not an expert, I am nowhere near an expert. I won't claim to be an expert. I won't claim to know what I'm doing half of the time. That said, I try to just usually focus on my target window that you see right here. And if I'm tanking, because I can right click, and like I'm too far away to do anything from him, but you'll see, you know, that kind of menu I've got, and then, so I generally focus on that, and I try my hardest not to, especially if I'm on horseback, disembark. You know, and so it's an interesting method of tanking. I'm glad I've gotten to do it over the last few years because, you know, I've done the traditional MMOs and those kinds of things. But as you see, you know, like every player gets an opportunity. I don't know why these players aren't over there, other than they're probably alts. But yeah, it's different even to me. Like, I'm struggling to figure out things to say because while this may look very basic, it still can be very intense and fun. You don't know how long these fights are going to last. There's different variables to why these fights last a while. There's a phenomenon which I have no problem with, and the phenomenon is players will heal these uniques. I think it kind of started as a joke, and then it's just kind of become something. See, they gotta go. I had suspect that some people don't like it. Again, speculation, i.e., I'm guessing. But for me, for me, I don't care. I really don't. I think it's fine. I have no issue with it happening. Because I'll continue to tank, and I'll do what I need to do. You know, if the players are having fun, and it's not really hurting anybody else, then go for it, you know. I just paused because I'm gambling that I'm still recording. OBS Studio had an issue, and so now I'm not seeing the levels of sound. The recording is saying it's still recording, but I'm not. I'm skeptical. Excuse me. Streamlabs OBS. Some people are starting to question. Oh, I have my UI up again. I don't know what honestly, I don't know what looks better. I mean, that looks crowded because of all the stuff I keep up, and I don't really want to bring up the chats and things of that nature again. Privacy, not privacy concerns, but it's just, you know, not everybody knows I'm filming, and I don't have to ask what is that scrum, about 50 players, if I can film. Like I said, this is definitely, I just took a screenshot on accident. This is definitely an interesting perspective. Not one I would have really understood. I think I did this one other time on an alternate character, one of my alt characters, to get screenshots when we first were using another arena, or it had gotten renovated. It's not coming to me now, but usually when there's an event going on, you know, I'm over there. And this is taking a while. It's actually kind of fun. I'm glad this is taking a while for some of these folks. It's, you know, not everything needs to be done in 5 minutes. It's alright if sometimes things take a little bit of time. I've seen these events go, you know, a little long. There it goes. And as you saw, everybody backed off at the end of the event, and one of the staff members picked it up to butcher the unique, and that's basically the end of the actual fight. There's a raffle afterwards, both loot from the slain monster as well as donated items from the staff, from other players. It just all kind of depends. I'm not gonna film that part. It's good for people watching the video to know that there's more to this than just the fight. You get the pre-fight, you get this, you get to hang out, you get to meet other players. And really, I'm glad that we got an opportunity to capture it in this building, because that was the whole point of this video in the first place, was the fact that Zool and Ravenloft have done a tremendous job with this building, along with some help from Elfin, who basically owns these deeds. I think she was who put up a lot of the red lights. Again, I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. You know, I as I stated in the last section of the video, I basically am doing this like I was a tourist just coming along, and we'll see how that goes, because in the past I've been doing my own my own deeds, or, you know, my own take on unique fights and this, that, and the other thing. So it's fun doing something else. But I give a hearty congratulations to all the players involved in making this arena, making this place, because it really is a great facility. I'm happy to have been able to film it for y'all, and, you know, until the next time I feel like recording something, I'm out of here. See ya, people.